change with it, right? It means that we've got to get ourselves ready for the next generation. So what do we now need to do? I mean, future-proofing for the future leader as well is attracting the right talent and trying to find people who are, one, wanting to come into the mining industry, because working in this industry comes with its own challenges for various reasons, and getting people to be excited about it. So, Mzila, what do we need to do? How do we attract the next generation and the next generation leader, which are probably two different things?
We probably have to be more cool, older generation. Because, I mean, I think we have to understand the origins of the reputation of the industry, which has been one reason for not attracting, I think, the talent. In terms, and I think part of that is also because of the emergence of other industries which are cooler than mining. You know, IT, finance, and mining. You are firstly working in far-flung places. It's because you have to go where the ore body is located. It's hard, it's harsh. But I think with technology, how we mine is changing. You know, we still need to mine. The work of mining has to continue, but how we go about mining.
And I wanted to ask, how are these big companies, big corporations, also supporting the young entrepreneurs who are in the mining sector and trying to develop solutions in the mining sector? How are they being supported? And then how can we get business? Thank you.
I think our panel also touched on it a little bit, like in terms of programs that they have, but does anybody specifically want to tackle it?
Sure. I was in my previous employment involved with, for instance, enterprise and supply development programs. And it was quite an interesting space to be in, because, you know, and the way that it's defined in South Africa is that supply development are those that supply the mine directly, and then enterprise are those that are not in the supply chain. And the interesting part is, you know, you get a lot more applications of those that are not direct suppliers, and a diversity of interest that you supply. And so it becomes challenging in terms of when you do provide the support. Does it necessarily have to be in mining because you understand mining? Does it have to be aligned to your business because it should be supporting the sustainability of your business? But at the same time, there's a bigger task out there of local economic development and diversifying the economy and growing the community. So you end up funding brick manufacturing. We funded a company that was in IT. And that made sense because the company I was working for was also quite big on technology. So I think the point I'm trying to make there is that the support of local entrepreneurs shouldn't be governed only by the needs of the organization, but I think should take a step back and look a little bit broader to the needs of the community and what you're trying to do in alignment with what local and national government is trying to do, and see that assistance as co-investment, because actually it does pay back, and it pays back first and foremost that business being successful then employs 2 or 3 more people, and that multiplier effect in terms of the livelihoods and social impact is far-reaching. So the end goal has to be clear in terms of what you're doing and not looking at it purely from a self-interest. So I think there are many mining companies that are actually quite involved in that way, so that you can talk to that in as far as supporting local entrepreneurs, both that are looking at contract servicing directly for the mine in one form or another in the whole value chain, but also in other non-mining related services that they could offer. And did some time in mining and got my technical qualifications. But I had other interests. I had an interest in finance. And so I then worked in investment banking for about 6 years. And in the course of pursuing career, I then stumbled across the concept of sustainable life cycles. And then I was very interested in the concept of sustainability. At the same time, I was also moving different companies, but also mindful that I wasn't job hopping. You got to make a call that and you got to realize that it takes time to acquire experience, more than 2 years, 3 years, and when you start hitting 5 years, you really then begin to embed that experience. And so how much time you spend in a company is also important to ensure that you really get that experience. And so the different experiences that we acquire are acquired either in one company where you're moving around, you're getting opportunities, but there are many other opportunities outside as well. And so you got to look at both inside and outside, and not approach your career through a lens of saying, what can that company offer me? But I think my attitude and what I always advise young people is that I see any company where I work as a platform in the concept of technology and how they use platforms. I bring the best of my capability and skills and match them with the needs of the organization and what they expect from me for the benefit of mine and the business. And at some point in time, the use of that platform will no longer be required. I move on to the next platform. But whilst I'm on that platform, I'm acquiring knowledge, skills, and I'm giving knowledge and skills. My interests will change and I move on to something else. I've also, been head of strategy, head of stakeholder engagement, corporate affairs, I've been in investment banking. And at the end of the day, it's also about how you bring all of this knowledge together towards a bigger goal and a bigger personal and organizational goal. So it's not also about just working everywhere and anywhere. I think you got to choose the areas of expertise that you want and why you want them and how you see yourself applying them. And those will come through time and from different experiences.